Elka, tell us about, you're bringing a very special program to Baxter Regional Medical Center, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I know that you've got some unique qualifications. Would you share those with us?
Sure. I am a pharmacist, and that is how I got into helping people take care of themselves. I am the chairman of the annual gifts committee for the Baxter Regional Hospital Foundation, and so that is why we're going to be doing this program as a charitable event to raise money for the Lend a Hand program.
Which sponsors our 4 community houses, the Pikes Cancer Support Center, the Rappel Diabetes Learning Center, the Muruck Family Education Center on Aging, and the Schliemann Center for Women's Health Education. If I don't do them in order, I never get them out right.
I understand.
So that's where, for this event, the money that's raised will go.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Tell us a little bit about the program, and then about your background as it fits in with the program.
Okay. The program is the NRA's Refuse to be a Victim program, and it is nationally known, actually probably is internationally known. It was started by the NRA in 1993, and it was a woman's only program at the time.
Okay.
However, there were some men who said, hey, this sounds like some really great information, and so we'd like to be able to listen to it as well. And so the NRA then went ahead and made it a program for men and women, and it is useful for people from ages of teens up to as old as you get.
As old as you get. And this is called Refuse to be a Victim.
Yes, it is Refuse to be a Victim. And for the class, you will get this great handbook that will reinforce all of the things that we'll cover that day in the class. It's a great resource, because when you listen to something, sometimes you're either trying to write it all down, or you're busy just listening because it's good information, and then you don't have a way to refer back to it. So the handbook is part of what you'll get when you come to the course.
And just in case there's anybody in the state of Arkansas that doesn't know what NRA stands for, it's National Rifle Association. I'm going to throw that out there. And this is their award-winning crime prevention and personal safety seminar, which we all need. Unfortunately, I think in this day and age, we all need to be so much more aware of our surroundings.
Yes.
And I have a feeling that's what this course will help us do, learn about, as far as our surroundings and what to do in various situations.
Yes, because if we're safe, we want to stay that way. We don't want to put ourselves into a situation where we are compromising our safety. And because most of us are nice people, we tend to not look at what the possibilities may be for the choices we make, because we're thinking, oh, I'm trying to help somebody, or I'm just, doing my own thing, minding my own business. And you may be inadvertently and without knowing putting yourself into a bad situation. So our goal is to help people to understand the things that they can do, and they're not difficult things. Sometimes it's just things that you don't think about. So we want to get you into the habit of thinking before you do things, and then what the consequences of what you do may be, in order to just keep yourself safe. Unfortunately, criminals tend to find nice people to be good victims, and so we don't want to tell you not to be nice, but you need to be cautious about who you're being nice to, and we'll teach you ways to do that.
Wonderful, wonderful, because I still have imprinted in my brain the not so distant terrorist that took part in Paris.
Yes.
And I still can see one of the front men on the band that was playing at the club that so many of the victims unfortunately were at. And most of them, when they heard the gunfire, immediately ducked, got out, took cover. And the one gentleman with his guitar stood there like a deer in the headlights. And I thought, oh my goodness, this would not be something any of us should do.
And those people, unfortunately, some situations are avoidable and some situations are not necessarily avoidable. But if you're in that unavoidable situation, there are, if you plan and think about ahead of time, some things that you might be able to do so that you're not improvising and getting stuck with that. And those folks, bless their hearts, that was terrible. And none of us know how we might have reacted in that situation. Exactly. So yes, thinking about these things, coming up with a plan for what you're going to do in your most likely situations in your life are very important, and will go a long way to help people stay safe, which is again our goal.
And this is education that we need. I mean, most of us in our homes, we've got a plan on how to exit in case of a fire.
Yes.
We've got plans if there's an earthquake or a tornado. We've got provisions, or we've got a safe place to go. This is just more education along the lines of keeping ourselves safe.
Yes.
So I know that you've got more of a background. Would you share some of that with us?
I'd be very happy to. I became an NRA instructor, and I'm an NRA handgun instructor for defensive handgun. I refused to be a victim instructor with the NRA. I am also a defensive firearms coach certified through ICE training, and I am now a combat focused shooting instructor certified through ICE training. So, and handguns are very important. If you're going to have one, it's very important that you learn how to use it efficiently and safely. But we like to do the things that we can to avoid ever having to use our handguns. So that's where the Refuse to be a Victim program comes in to start with. And I've found that, like we were saying earlier, the age group that it applies to is every age group. My son, who was in his teens, came to the class and he said, this is valuable information. So if a 16-year-old boy can sit through a 4-hour lecture and go, I got a lot of stuff out of this, then I think that is a good thing to hear.
Absolutely. For a teenager to be able to sit that long.
Yes, that's
and stay
true.
Focused.
Yes. So let's see.
Well, all of that is just, I'm going to go into the actual event itself just a little bit. It's going to be in the Lagerborg Dining Room, which is inside the hospital. It's going to be on Friday, December 4th. Okay, and I've got down that it's running from 11 to 3, so that 4-hour window, and the cost is $25.
Yes, ma'am.
That's going to include your lunch and
your information, including your student handbook.
But you're donating all of this to the Lend a Hand.
Yes, I'm doing. Thank you very much. I am doing this. My teaching will be as a charitable donation, and all of the materials for it we are donating, so that every bit of money that each person pays will go to help the Lend a Hand Foundation.
Which is wonderful, which in turn certainly goes right back into our 4 community houses. And people don't always realize with the 4 houses that almost all of the services, support groups, classes, exercise classes, guest speakers, everything, it's all free.
Yes, and that's an amazing and wonderful thing for our community, and as much as we can let people know that, because unfortunately people don't recognize that they're available if they don't need them.
If they don't need them,
and then when they need them, they're so distressed over the things that are going on in their lives that they may not recognize that they're available. So if we can help people to understand that they're there and available. I myself walked into the Rappel House and found out that they will give you a machine to test your blood sugar, that you don't have to go buy one, and they'll teach you how to use it, and they'll help you learn how to cook properly to deal with your diabetes.
You bet.
So there are so many things available here in our community in Mountain Home that I don't know if people are aware of, but I hope that they become aware, because that's part of what makes this a great community.
Yes.
And we're very blessed to have all of that here.
Yes, we are. Very few cities, and I've checked, very few cities across the nation, I don't care what size the city is, what state it's in, have all 4 components like we do right here.
Yes.
To address aging, diabetes, cancer, and women's health issues. It's just not done. They may have one or two, but not all four. And we are truly blessed in this community, and as you say, that's why we're always doing our TV show and radio, this kind of thing, so that we're always trying to get the word out about what we offer to the community, and we'll come to the community.
Yes,
so.
and I'm happy to be able to be on this and to help share that, because the value to our community and the value to each person, not this, you know, your health hits across every socioeconomic level. It doesn't. That's one of those things that you don't get any luck on that one. So, unfortunately, if we find ourselves in need of them, it'll be great for us to have that available here.
And each house is so unique, and so the coordinators and each of the houses, I don't know if people realize as well, are run by volunteers through our hospital auxiliary. Pites Cancer Support House, I know, has over 50 volunteers that run, because the houses are open 9 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday, and we couldn't do it without the volunteers. We couldn't do it without our knowledgeable coordinators, and certainly our foundation that oversees all 4 community houses, and most of all, people like yourself that are willing to take their time and talents and donate them so that we can keep building and putting everything out there for the community's benefit. So again, thank you for this.
Thank you. Well, the best part of this is helping people to understand that they have to be there for themselves. You don't have somebody with you all the time.
No.
So you may need to be the person who has to take care of you, so be prepared to do that. And like I said, most of the time it doesn't take anything but a few good choices. And so that's what we want to help you with this class, so that you won't be one of the people in the news as a statistic.
Right. Elka, we need to take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We've got more information. We'll go a little bit more in depth as far as Refuse to be a Victim, that's coming up on December 4th.